The ups and downs of markets aside, this presidential race has been a roller coaster in itself, with equal parts stress, exhaustion, shock and hope. It has been called the most critical election in US history, but it has also been one of the most dramatic, with a criminal verdict for one of the candidates, with an incumbent president stepping down late in the race, with a couple of assassination attempts, feline prejudice, dog-eating claims, French fries power games and trash talk, quite literally. Here are some of the most dramatic moments that defined this election cycle.
Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. These are considered the 5 stages of grief. But add a bit of shock and awe, and you get the roller coaster of emotions that is the 2024 US presidential race. It all started with the incumbent and the country's oldest president, Joe Biden, seeking re-election. He brought the average white man energy to the game and for the longest time refused to step down despite his meandering remarks, halting speech, and persistent confusion with names.
President Putin. He's going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky.
But then came the debate against Republican candidate Donald Trump on June 27th. This was so disastrous for Democrats that it induced donor panic, leading to the Biden saga finale of July 21st, when the president announced that he would no longer seek re-election, making Trump quite happy for his role in Biden's so-called demise. Speaking of Trump, he too gave the election its fair share of spice. He offered the first jolt to the campaign on May 30th, when he became the first ex-president in US history to become a convicted felon. He was found guilty of committing 34 crimes in the hush money trial. But on July 1st came the immunity ruling from criminal prosecution, which was a major victory for Trump. Then, with the makings of a reality TV show, came the assassination attempt on July 13th.
Take a look at what happened.
During a campaign rally in Pennsylvania, Trump was shot and wounded in his upper right ear. But as security agents covered him, he stood up, raised his fist and shouted, "Fight, fight, fight," which became an instantly iconic moment, a war cry for the Republicans. Then, on September 15th, Trump was the target of a second assassination attempt. This came just a few weeks after the grand Democratic coronation, when Vice President Kamala Harris took to the stage on August 23rd and officially accepted the Democratic presidential nomination, making her the first black woman to lead a major party ticket.
On behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest nation on earth, I accept your nomination to be President of the United States of America.
And what about the running mates? Harris chose the Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. Trump chose Ohio Senator J.D. Vance. Vance formally accepted the nomination in July. But if there's one thing he'll be remembered for, it's his infamous statement, "a bunch of childless cat ladies," which riled up pop icon Taylor Swift, ensuing a raging cat ladies come brat movement in support of Harris. While these moments certainly stood out, trash talking was a persistent highlight across the campaign. From claims about immigrants eating dogs in the presidential debate on September 11th, to literal comments about trash at a Republican rally. And sprinkled here and there was a subtle McDonald's obsession.
My first day at McDonald's, I'm looking for a job.
It has been a wild election cycle with some stranger-than-fiction moments. This was the US presidential race, served with a side of drama and trauma alike.
Washington is all set for a presidential battle like no other.
In less than 90 days,
It's either going to be him or me sitting in the Oval Office.
Kamala Harris versus Donald Trump.
All we want is one simple thing. Get out on Tuesday and vote.
A vice president versus a former president. As we head towards election night, Vantage will be live from the heart of the action. Speaking to voters in this final stretch,
I'm still very undecided.
Very close presidential race.
tracking the campaigns as they make the last push. From exclusive ground reports to in-depth analysis, this is your one-stop destination for the presidential race. Join us on this special edition of Vantage, live from the White House in Washington, D.C.